podcast notes from the last. I hang on to them as if that's this is a drawer full of podcast notes. I'm going to talk about what I call the ethical minority. The ethical minority is, in a nutshell, a small group, unfortunately, of people who don't fall prey to fear, stress, anxiety, feelings that they have, that we all have, but we don't fall prey to it. In other words, our actions aren't dictated by those feelings. And as I said on a recent podcast episode, the worst thing that happened to the internet was the internet. Because people to make money will prey on your fear and your stress and your anxiety. And you will feel that. And when you're inundated with it and you don't take breaks enough to get a little perspective away from that stuff, your actions will start to be reactions to those things that are occurring. Years ago, I coined a phrase with this guy, Joshua Catcher, super cool guy. We coined the phrase protophobic, the term protophobic, the irrational fear of protein deficiency. That's a perfect example. If you're watching this going, yeah, but I worry about protein, you've been marketed to. And it seems real, and it seems substantial and concrete, and you can't believe that that's a bunch of crap. It's so, yes, dogma, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The nutritional realm, the health realm, the wellness realm, the politics realm. Fear sells. We know that, but that doesn't make it a good thing. So when you decide to step forward and live on principle, in spite of your fears, in spite of your stress, and you start to recognize that people who are instilling fear in you don't have your best interest at heart, and that you have the power and strength to act in spite of what you're being slammed in your head all the time, you're putting yourself in an ethical minority. It's not what most people do. But there's a hitch. The hitch is that putting yourself in the ethical minority is hard to do. It's the harder thing to do. To be reactive to just because you feel fear, you feel something, and you go, I'm just going to act on, I just feel it, so therefore, don't question how I feel, just kind of behave. Cravings, perfect example. When you put yourself in the ethical minority, it's a harder road to take. There's extra stress that you're putting on your life. The fact is we can all get through our lives pretty, at least in developed countries like the United States, pretty easily. We can stay in a nice, neat comfort zone, and we don't have to really step out of that often. And when we do, we can sort of squash those feelings with junk food, drugs, and alcohol, and internet, and all social media, and all that kind of stuff. But to step outside, to be attentive to right and wrong as you see it, in spite of feelings and fear, but this is the right thing to do. This is a bracelet I made. It says WWID, what would I do? And this is the reason I wear this, is because there's times where I'm feeling, reluctance or something that I don't want to do. And I can sort of go like, yeah, but if all things were equal, and I was kind of like looking at this with a little bit of bird's eye view, I would totally do it. And I don't feel like doing it, but I would do it. And really, it's the reason why I get in the cold tub most days, is because there's that little game I play of, I don't want to do this, I'm going to be happy when I do it. And it's that little game we play. In my ultra running book, I called it the battle of the modern human being. Can we act sometimes in spite of our fears, our stress, our anxieties? Can we act in spite of those things? And when we do, we have to understand a couple things. One, it's harder to do, and it just is. And so, if anybody's promising you otherwise, don't listen to them. It's a harder thing to do. It's more stress on an already pretty stressful existence for most people. But the second thing is that it's so much better. It really is so much better when you can look in the mirror and not be ashamed most times. When you can live without a bunch of regret. We're all going to make mistakes, and we're all going to screw up, and we're going to regret certain things that we do. But on the balance, if you can take care of yourself in such a manner that you can live most days in the ethical minority, your life is fulfilling and your life is awesome. And it's not just in spite of hard work, it's because of the hard work. It's because of making a decision to pay attention on a level that most people don't pay attention on. And it's just a better way to live. And by the way, sort of side note, it makes the world a better place. I mean, what you're doing by paying attention and acting most days in the ethical minority sphere is you're improving the world, both in your actions and how the example you set for other people. So, ethical minority, are you in it?